Welcome back to Workshop Wasteland. If this is your first time being here, thanks for stopping by. If you've been here before, thanks a whole lot for coming back. In today's video, we're going to see if all of our hard work and dedication to this boiler pays off because we're going to complete a hydrostatic test. Stay tuned, it's going to be really awesome. Alright, so before we get into the actual hydrostatic test, let's first talk about why we would do a hydrostatic test and what is a hydrostatic test and what all do we need to complete this test. So honestly, the biggest thing that you're going to need is some sort of a water pump. Our little hand pump that we made in the previous videos is going to work just fine for this test. I've already done a test. Good news, it passes just fine. So I know that this pump is capable of producing enough pressure to actually do the test that is required. Near as I can tell online, you're supposed to go 1.5 times working pressure. So 60 psi is what the working pressure of this boiler is. Half of that is 30, which would mean this is supposed to be able to hold 90 psi. My personal opinion, that's not quite enough. I'm going to err on the side of caution, and we're going to pressure test it at 120 psi. Higher than what it needs to be. That's double the working pressure. So you're going to have your water pump, which hopefully you've already machined because you've watched my previous videos on machining your little water pump. Works really well. Next thing you need is a plug. This is, I believe, 5/16 by 27. PM Research, if you happen to watch this video, include this little plug in the boiler kit. This is the one that goes in where the pressure relief valve would go. The reason why you need that plug is the pressure relief valve is set to approximately 60 psi. Well, we need to pressurize it higher than that, so you need to be able to plug off that hole. For the, $1 that this thing probably costs them, they should just include it in the kit, and they don't. So if you ordered a boiler kit and you need to place another order, throw one of these plugs in there. I will try and remember to put the part number up here from PM Research's website so you could have this. Also, secondarily, you could make your own plug if you had a die to do so, or if you wanted to single point the taper threads for a pipe plug. It's easier for me just to buy a plug for, I think it's like $2.50 or something. So now, what is a hydrostatic test? Well, first off, let's say what a hydrostatic test is not. And it's not using pressurized air to pressurize our boiler to see if it's going to leak or not. We're going to use water. So a hydrostatic test, hydro being water, static being pressure, or a static pressure, we're going to pressurize this boiler with water. Well, you're probably asking yourself, why? Why can't you just use air? Well, for lack of better terminology, if you use air and something goes wrong, you could potentially have a dangerous situation on your hands. Air is compressible, so it can store a lot of energy, whereas water is basically not compressible. I think it does compress slightly, but probably an almost immeasurable amount. So if you use water and something goes wrong, the only thing that will happen is you're going to get wet. You're not going to have an explosion. You're not going to have a boom on your hands and be crazy like you would if you used air. Therefore, we're going to use water. This is a pretty common thing. Scuba tanks, fire extinguishers, pneumatic receivers, all kinds of things are hydrostatically tested, and most of the time need to be recertified every couple of years. In our case, with a boiler, it wouldn't be a bad idea to check it every now and again if it's something you're going to use repeatedly. So a hydrostatic test is using pressurized water, again, because water can't compress, right? So it can't build up any stored energy. We're going to use pressurized water, pressurize our boiler to double our working pressure, again 120 psi, and if all goes well, it won't leak. We won't have anything wild happen, and we'll know that our boiler then is safe. All of our solder joints are good. There's no weak spots in any of the copper tubing or anything like that. Just overall everything was a success if it can hold the pressure. I also purchased a check valve from PM Research. I don't remember how much it was. It was a little bit expensive, I think 15 or 20 bucks. But I wanted to use it because this water pump cannot hold the pressure. You can pump up the pressure, but it's going to leak down slowly. And I want to put 120 PSI on here, let it sit for 15-20 minutes, and make sure we don't spring any leaks. Again, I'd rather spend 15 or 20 bucks to be safe than sorry down the road whenever we spring a leak and, you know, now maybe it's too far gone to get it fixed. So we are at the point of proving whether or not all of the work that we've put into this boiler is going to pay off or not. Newsflash, it pays off, but we're still going to show you how this works. And as a bit of a bonus feature, I brought the hydrostatic tester home from my shop, home from work. I am in the Air Force, and we do hydrostatic testing a lot on our pneumatic receivers. I brought the tester home, and we're going to hook that up. We're going to show you what this would look like in kind of an industry practice, like how is a hydrostatic test actually performed. We pressurize our pneumatic cylinders much higher than 120 PSI. And we also bang on it with a hammer and do some other stuff, but for the purposes of this demonstration, we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to use the tester, kind of show you how it works, show you a little bit of what it's all about, and you know, see if it can hold the pressure that's created with the hydrostatic tester as well. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you're as clear as mud now. I'm not always the best at explaining things. I obviously know what a hydrostatic test is. I do them pretty frequently at work, and sometimes I'm just not very good at explaining it so everybody can understand. The key takeaway is you're going to use your little hand water pump. You're going to pressurize your boiler to 1.5 to 2 times working pressure and see how it holds off. So what do you say? Hydrostatic test time? I think so. Let's get started. All right, so we're going to go a little bit handheld here. So I apologize if the video is a little bit shaky, but this is what we're going to do. So we have our water pump. We're going to feed it with water here in this little cup. And then this is our outlet. The outlet is the top of the water pump. It comes over, as you can see right here. This is a little check valve from PM Research. And then I have this threaded nipple going into the boiler to pressurize with water. I purchased the pressure gauge because the one from PM Research only goes to 100. Let me show you the gauge from them real quick. So this is the little pressure gauge from PM Research. It's actually really nice. I love the like patina look to it. But as you can see, it only goes to 100. I think that's probably more than enough pressure for your boiler, but I wanted to go a little bit higher, so I purchased a gauge pretty cheap at Lowe's. So you can see that here, plumbed into the boiler so we can get a pressure reading. All the other holes are capped off with plugs, and then I have the top still open. This is where that plug that you're going to need to either purchase or make is going to go, right here in the top. So let me show you like the most important part of this whole process. I'm sure you can't see all that well, but right now the water is not filled to the top inside of this boiler. So what I'm going to do is take a paper towel and I'm going to put it right here so we can capture any water that comes out. And we're going to pump our hand pump. It's over here off camera. And get it all the way to the top like that. Now, that means there's no air inside of the boiler, inside of the water line, over to the pressure gauge, and everything is just water. Or a very, very small amount of air. So we'll put our little plug in here. And this is a really, really simple process to do, especially if you don't have any leaks. Literally thread that plug in there, and what I'm going to do is sit a paper towel underneath of this so that if it were to leak, we would really be able to see the leak very easily. I'm going to set the camera over here so you can kind of see everything that's going on. Again, this is our little hand pump, and I'm going to be watching this gauge, and we're going to try and shoot for about 120 PSI. So it shouldn't take much because, again, you cannot compress water, so a little bit of pressure here, couple of pumps, and it's going to come right up in pressure. All right, there it is. We're a smidge over 120. Zoom in a little bit on that gauge for you. And again, because I have this check valve down here, This check valve that's down here is preventing the pressure from going back into the pump. We're holding it on the boiler. I'll time-lapse this, but I'm going to give you a full 10-minute test. Again, I'm going to time-lapse it. You'll be able to see if that needle moves at all in the time-lapse. I'll squeeze it down to about 30 minutes or about 30 seconds. But this is for real, an actual respectable test. And as you can see, well, you probably can't see too good, but our paper towel down here is totally dry, which means we have nothing leaking. It looks like our little plug up here seeped just a little bit of water. The pressure has decreased ever so slightly, but I'm certain that's coming from right there. I should have put some Teflon tape on that, but I didn't. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little bit of water that came out of that plug. But that's a success. Our boiler is holding double the working pressure overall. Can't possibly be upset about that. So cue the time lapse, watch that needle. All right, that's been about 3 minutes. I don't think we need to go any farther. Like I said, I time-lapsed that, so you didn't have to watch a real 3 minutes, but as you can see, we're still sitting perfectly fine on pressure. So overall, that's an absolute smashing success. Our boiler held pressure on the very first try. No leaks whatsoever. Really surprised myself with this one. Having never made a boiler before, I didn't know how it would go, but as you can see, our paper towel is dry and no leaks. All right, so this is the legit, real deal, actual hydrostatic tester. Has a P-mel calibrated gauge on it. This is a air pressure actuated pump. As you can see here, we have a regulator to control the, I guess let's say control the speed and or pressure that we're able to create. And then this is the valve that we're going to open and close. I have the garden hose hooked up over here. This is the water coming in right here. Comes through the pump, which of course increases the pressure. And then this is the valve that we're going to open. Allows that pressure to come out the hose. And I have it makeshift connected to the boiler. So we got all the plugs in for the boiler. So now what we need to do is make sure we have the boiler completely full of water. I'm going to give you sort of an overhead shot like this, so you can hopefully see kind of everything that I'm doing here. Okay, that is the boiler totally full of water. Now we're going to put this plug in the top, and in theory we will not have any air in here now. As you can see, the paper towel underneath there is totally dry. Turn our gauge on. I don't even know if you can see the numbers on there, but I don't know why the gauge doesn't want to zero out. But here we go. We're looking for 120 on the gauge. We had a little bit of a leak here on our fitting. See if we can get 120 on here. Well, there's 460 PSI on the boiler. That's way more than I wanted to put into it, but you can see 457, and disregard that moisture right there. But if we look underneath and we touch everything, it's totally dry. So that means that's a smashing success. way more pressure than we need to put on there. I was afraid of this thing just not being able to do such a low amount of pressure. It's holding 451, 450. There may have been just a smidge of air in the boiler somewhere. But just to show you that that's real actual pressure, let me relieve it right now. So there you go, all the way back down to 0. And then what that did was relieved the pressure into this bucket. So this is a pretty simple contraption. There's not really a whole lot to it, but as you can see, it's really effective. And like I said, this is the tag for the gauge, an actual PML calibrated gauge. This held way more pressure than it needed to. And we are definitely way more than safe at this point. Well, here we are. A functional, pressure-tested boiler. What a relief it is to know that all of that hard work in building this boiler has paid off. Because let's face it, there's a lot of work into it at this point in time. And you may not be able to get a second chance at soldering or silver soldering a leak in the boiler. So I am incredibly thankful that it worked out correctly and we have a very safe pressure tested boiler. Just wanted to show you, I didn't do a very good job of showing it in the video. This is the gauge that I used. It's got a brass coupler and a plug in the end of it, and then I just drilled and tapped for this, what is this, quarter 40 I think, or quarter 32 nipple, so I could thread that into the boiler. But here it is, one pressure tested, 100% ready to go boiler. Next week's video will be the finishing touches. We're going to make the chimney for the top, the base that goes on the bottom, and then the other little doodads that go along with it, like the firebox door and stuff like that. And then at that point, we will be ready to do our first test fire and see if our PM Research PM #1 steam engine, coupled with the water pump, filling up the boiler, will all work together. And man, I am excited to see this engine run on real steam. Again, all things that I've created in my workshop from a kit, which I just think really adds to the wow factor, the cool factor of this whole project. Not everybody in the world is machining a steam engine, and then less people in the world are making their own boiler, albeit from a kit, but still making their own boiler, feeding that steam engine with real live steam. So man, I am excited. Make sure if you're not subscribed, you go ahead and smash that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it. We will see you next week when we finish off our PM Research boiler. Thanks for watching.